Hi, my name is Aaron. For 10 years, I was the architect of a tech empire I built from the ground up. I traded my 20s, my sleep, and my sanity for code, contracts, and growth. I thought I was building a future for my family. Instead, I was building a target. When my parents decided that my younger sister, Sarah, who had never written a line of code or closed a real sale, was the better leader for my company, they didn't just insult me, they declared war. They thought because I was family, I'd accept their coup quietly. They thought I would walk away broken. But they didn't understand that when you build a business from the dirt, you own every brick, every bolt, and every secret. Today, I'm going to tell you how I systematically dismantled my own life's work, leaving my family with nothing but an empty, bankrupt office. This isn't just a story about a startup, it's a manual on how to protect what's yours when the people closest to you try to take it. 10 years ago, the word startup was just a dream in a room that smelled like stale coffee and solder. I remember the exact feeling of my first successful launch, the adrenaline, the relief. I wasn't just a founder, I was a creator. I spent years in the trenches. I missed weddings, funerals, and birthdays. I was the guy who fixed the servers at 3 a.m. on Christmas Day. My parents loved the results. They loved the money, the prestige, and the status my success brought them in their social circles. But behind closed doors, it was always about Sarah. Sarah was the golden child. She went to the best schools, had the best internships, and lived a life of ease. While I was struggling to hire our first employee, she was traveling the world. I held no resentment at first. I loved my sister. I thought, maybe she really can help. That was my first mistake. I confused family loyalty with business sense. When Sarah graduated with her MBA, my parents started the pressure campaign. It was subtle at first, little comments at Sunday dinners. Aaron, you're looking tired. You should delegate more. Or, Sarah has such a modern vision for the company, she'd make a great COO. I was naive. I wanted their validation. I thought, maybe this is a chance to finally bond with my sister. I brought her on. I gave her full access. I showed her the revenue streams, the back-end architecture, the client relationships. I treated her like a partner, but Sarah didn't want to learn. She wanted to replace. She was a master of the corporate smile. She spent months charming my staff, buying them lunch, listening to their complaints, and painting herself as the refreshing new energy to my old, stressed-out leadership. I was so busy building the product that I didn't see her building a mutiny. She was the wrecking ball, and I was the one holding the door open for her. The betrayal didn't happen in a boardroom. It happened in the quiet of my parents' dining room. The table was set perfectly. The mood was fake pleasant. My mother poured the wine. My father cleared his throat, a sound I'll never forget. He laid out the plan. They had quietly bought out enough minor shareholders to force a reorganization. Sarah was the new CEO. I was being moved to a consultant role. They didn't ask me. They expected me to nod, say thank you, and leave quietly. My father looked at me and said, "It's for the best, Aaron. You're just too attached to the past." I looked at Sarah. She had this triumphant, smug look, the kind of look someone gets when they think they've won the game before it's even finished. I felt a cold calm wash over me. In that second, the brotherly love died. I looked them in the eye and said, "If that's the way you want it, okay." I finished my wine, stood up, and left. They thought they had defeated me. They had no idea they had just handed me the keys to the exit. I had 3 weeks before the formal transition. I treated those 3 weeks like a covert military operation. I wasn't going to fight a legal battle. I was going to pull the rug out from under them. First, the tech. My company's value was in the proprietary backend. I spent the first week migrating the architecture to a private personal cloud. I wasn't stealing, it was my intellectual property, and I had the legal rights to move it. Second, the team. I knew the top developers weren't there for the company name. They were there for me. I held private meetings. I didn't ask them to leave. I asked them if they wanted to build something new, something better, with me. They didn't hesitate. Third, the clients. I handled every single top-tier account. I didn't announce my resignation, I announced the launch of my new venture. I showed them why my vision, not Sarah's corporate speak, was the future. By the end of the second week, my new entity was fully funded, fully staffed, and the old company was just an empty shell with a fancy logo. The day of the transition was legendary. I walked into the conference room. My parents were there, beaming. Sarah was sitting in my chair. I calmly slid my formal resignation letter across the table and stood up. My father smirked, thinking I was finally bowing to his authority. I leaned in and said, "You wanted the company, Sarah. You've got it. But you forgot one thing. A company isn't an office, a logo, or a title. A company is the people, the product, and the relationships." And all of that just walked out the door with me. The look on their faces, it shifted from triumph to confusion, then to pure, visceral panic as they realized the servers were dead, the developers were gone, and the clients had already moved their contracts. They didn't just lose the business, they lost the ability to ever have it back. They had a mountain of overhead and zero revenue. It was beautiful. My new company is thriving, and I've never been happier. To my parents and my sister, thanks for the push. You wanted me to step aside, so I did right into a much better life. For everyone listening, never apologize for your own work. And if someone tries to steal your legacy, don't play by their rules, change the game entirely. I'm Aaron. Thanks for listening. If you want more stories like this, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments. What would you have done?